Girls, what was the best flirting technique someone did to you?
A guy the first had met and liked walked me home one night, but was hesitant to be involved further once I found out he was much younger. Early the next evening he went to the back door of my house and left a note with a bottle of wine, then knocked the door and left. When I opened the door, the note said, "If you would like someone to share the bottle with, open the front door. If not, enjoy it alone. Name X." It was such a surprise and a kind gesture that I opened the door. We ended up having a 7-year relationship. Even bought a house together. Things went a bit bad and we broke up. And then later I found out he passed away from prostate cancer, at 38 years old. He was such a nice, kind person. Hard to believe the world doesn't have him anymore. Sorry for the sad element.
Told me he liked to draw and asked for my number so he could send me some examples. Then he free-handed a picture of a moose for me.
Draw me like one of your French moose. Wearing this. Only this. Asterisk hands him antlers, asterisk.
As a person with zero game who is also quite oblivious, being direct is hot and clear communication, and doing it with confidence works the best. Smiley face. And #X200B. But also one time someone asked me, if you were a pirate would you keep your parrot on this shoulder or this shoulder, putting his arm around me to touch the furthest shoulder. TBH, it actually turned me on even though it was extremely stupid.
A guy told me that he liked my shoes and asked where I'd gotten them. We were in a bowling alley.
I would have just replied, at the counter. I am not good at picking up hints.
That would have worked on me.
Time to read comments and build EXP.
You might reveal branches in your skill tree, but you won't have the SP to unlock them.
It was my first day in middle school and this kid asked to see my planner. I handed it to him and he flipped to the contact section and left me his name and number. I'll never forget how smooth he was.
Dang, that's smart.
LMAO, the start of middle school? This kid was really going around giving out his phone number at like 11. Wish 11-year-old me had his game lol.
I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely the most memorable. I was at the gym and had been honestly taking things to the extreme for a while and not listening to my body. I suddenly got very dizzy and my sight became white. On the realization that I was about to pass out, I slowly lowered myself down to the floor. One of the guys working out came swooping in to grab me and prevent my head from hitting the floor. He lay me down and tried to get me to remain conscious, asking me all sorts of questions that required some concentration, like what day of the week it is and who is the president. When he saw that I was okay and recovering, his questions started getting flirty. What's my name? What's my number? Now that he's become my knight in shining armor, can he take me out on a date sometime? It really made me laugh and feel better just by him being so lighthearted about it. He got my number.
This is pretty wholesome. In college, my best friend was this guy that I had a flirty friendship with, but we were both dating other people. We lived in the same buildings as each other freshman, junior year, and spent a lot of time together, but again, we were with other people. Freshman year we were watching a movie together and this couple had an epic kiss in the rain, and I offhandedly mentioned I thought it was so romantic. Senior year rolls around and we're both finally single. We were walking home from a party, it started raining and he just kinda grabbed me and kissed me, and mentioned he thought about what I said anytime it rained. We had a very intense relationship for about a year and then it kind of ended in disaster and we haven't spoken since lol. TLDR, pay attention to the little details and things the person you're into likes. Show them you care about them by listening.
I once had a guy walk up to me at a bar and said, "Hello, my name is Rob and I'll be hitting on you tonight. What can I get you to drink?" Silly, playful, and direct. We dated for about 8 months. Invited me over to watch Gordon Ramsay anger compilations and make candy bugs.
He bought me the book I was looking at in the bookstore.
What was the book?
The Memoirs of Cleopatra by Margaret George. I still have the book, not so much the guy.
First time I hung out at my current BFS house before we started dating. We were laying on the floor listening to records and he turned to ask me what time it was. I think it was 4 if I remember. He then said, "Wow, you've been here 4 hours and I haven't kissed you yet?" Still makes me smile, and needless to say, it worked very well.
That reminds me for some reason of some third-party flirting we used to do on our roommate's behalf, to F with him. He was really into his study partner, and so every time she'd come over, We'd put on like Marvin Gaye or something in the next room. We started out with, "What's going on?" but we escalated so by the third time we were up to, "Let's get it on." It worked, though, and they went out for like 2 years.
Oh my god, haha. I forget what was playing, maybe it was Subliminal 2, the whole trap was set.
I was playing my 3DS on the train and a guy sat across from me, said, "Excuse me, can I ask what you're playing?" And we struck up a conversation. I was so engaged that I almost missed my stop. Afterwards we would sit and talk on our way home and he started gifting me books from his work. That's when I asked him out. Edit. Instead of answering individual questions, the game was Animal Crossing, New Leaf, my go-to game to wind down after a long day. When I asked him out, he said yes. But after a few dates, we parted amicably. Sorry, no love story here.
3DS was the entire effing plane in this one.
He did my dishes. Love the phrasing of that question, and I shall use that from now on. How did you and Mom meet? She did flirting to me.
Sounds like something Borat would say. In USA, if you want to marry a girl, you cannot just go to her father's house and swap her for 15 gallons of insecticide. Before American woman will allow you in her vagine, you must do something called a dating.
We walked home together all the time from school and he would do something cute, funny, caring to make sure I was on the inside of the sidewalk when we were together, like he would twirl me around and guide me to the inside or tickle my side and jokingly push me to the inside of the sidewalk. I guess not a typical flirt move, but considering 99% of the I was walking to get anywhere, him wanting me to be safe when we were together was so sweet. We are not together and have never dated, but that still is one of the top things on my list of sweet moments. Even in school he'd walk on the outside cause I always got shoulder checked by people passing by.
This actually reminded me that this was something my man did, and still does, that charmed me so much in the early days.
I started dating the university's lone wolf and was extremely surprised to find how incorrigible a flirt he was. But he didn't speak my native language, he was not from my state, and my parents wouldn't have approved of our relationship. When I told him I didn't want to lead him on, he said we would try our best, and if it didn't work out he would take full responsibility for his broken heart and that I need not feel pressured. The feeling of liberation I felt cinched the deal for me. Looking back, I am strangely touched by how he, an introvert, had allowed himself to be openly vulnerable in front of me. After 7 years of a solid relationship, which included 3 years of wearing my parents down to accept him, we got married a couple of months ago.
We were walking quietly at night and he stopped, looked me in the eyes, and said, "I think you just broke my writer's block." Not sure if it was a technique, it seemed genuine. When we parted ways he went home and wrote the first song he'd written in months. Boo, it was super hot and I melted when he said it.
I met my, now, husband while I was in the hospital. He worked there and I was a frequent patient, unfortunately. Anyway, he would bring daffodils to my room. Or apple juice. He snuck me extra warm blankets and would sit with me before, after his shift. When I got out, he offered to get groceries and wash my hair. All of it just as a friend. He knew I wasn't interested in dating while going through everything, and so he was just there. Turns out I happened to like him there and we are celebrating our 12th anniversary this year.
Man, this story is so romantic, yet could easily fit into a Girls of Reddit, "What was the creepiest thing a guy ever did trying to flirt with you?" post.
Haha. He and I joke about that too actually. Romantic creeping.
I was walking on my university campus, tripped and dropped my books. Heeled sandals, raised sidewalk. He asked me if I was okay, and picked up my books. He then carried my books and walked me to class. We chatted the entire walk, and when we got to my class, he asked for my phone number. I tore off a piece of paper, and wrote it, but without my name. I wanted to see if he was listening when I told him. He listened. We've been married over 20 years. He makes me smile every day.
That's cruel. I always forget people's names within seconds of meeting them. It's embarrassing and I try not to, but damn is it annoying. I also have trouble with faces.
At the time, I had dated guys who turned out to be not so nice. I was anxious he could be too. Admittedly, not a nice thing for me to do. I'm very thankful it worked out.
He said, "I have a riddle for you." Then he took my hand and traced a line down the middle of my palm. "This is a river. It is too wide to jump over, too deep to wade across, too fast to swim across, and too long to go around. There is a bunny stuck on one side of it. How does the bunny cross the river?" After about 10 minutes of me trying to guess the answer, I gave up and asked him how the bunny got across the river. He said, "Who cares? I just wanted to hold your hand."
So, how was the wedding?
Flirted with my dog first.
Pooh best strategy.
I've often seen a cute girl in the park and thought this would be a great way to approach her. Getting her dog's approval that you're okay and striking up a conversation seems very natural, but I've never known the etiquette. Tell me, did he sniff your dog's bum first, or offer his own?
We were classmates in college and one morning, I called him on my way to school. I lived over an hour away and we usually called and chatted while I drove, and complained about a headache. When I got to school, he was there with ibuprofen, water, and one of those yogurt parfait thingies. I also made a comment once about my eyeliner running out, and he brought one to school the next day. Found out from his brother after we started dating that he had spent like an hour at the store asking the makeup employees for the right one since he had no idea what an eyeliner pen was. We've been married for 4 years now and he's still a total sweetheart. Edit. Holy poo, my inbox has exploded. Thank you for the awards. I'm reading the comments to my husband right now lol. But to clarify to those saying this could be creepy behavior, it definitely could in a different situation. I don't recommend doing this with someone you don't have a good base with. If you like to do nice things for people, don't make it seem like you expect anything in return. We already had a pretty solid friendship and he was, and still is, honestly the best friend I'd ever had. He never made any advances on me or put any pressure on our relationship. I used to wonder if he was just nice or if he actually liked me, that's how good he was at being chill. I ended up confessing my feelings to him a few months later. I come from an abusive family, so having him be there for me, listen to me, respect my boundaries, etc. was mind-blowing. He's been a great partner and I'm very thankful for people like him.
I'm a married man and I want this dude.
He laughed so hard at this.
OMG, what a sweetie. Spending all that time in the store asking about makeup for you?
She sent me a picture of 2 frogs sitting on a leaf and said, "Us.
Gonna try this."
Years and years ago I worked at Florist where the owner illegally hired mostly Mexican girls in the States to learn English. They went to school, but worked for a rate that wasn't even minimum wage. It was super shady, but I loved working with them. We would make up little games to teach me Spanish, them English. Anyway, this Latin guy comes in one day and one of the girls is helping him. He wants to get a bouquet for a girl he likes, so she takes him around the store, showing him what she thinks are the best flowers. She wraps it all up for him and right as he pays, he writes his number on the paper and hand them to her. I was floored, it was so smooth. She was completely unfazed, like oh that's how men are like where I'm from, men don't do that here. I was like, nope. Edit. I used nonplussed originally instead of unfazed. In my neck of the woods it does mean unfazed, but yes I'm aware it also means surprised. Thank you Reddit for this interesting regional grammar lesson.
Did it work though?
It would have 100% worked on me. She was not impressed.
Took genuine time to get to know me, and bought me a few gifts based on interests he'd asked me about before. I was less amazed by the gifts, and more amazed that he'd cared enough to remember what I actually liked. I'd found most guys wouldn't listen, and would just buy me generic stuff like jewelry or chocolates if they wanted to gift me something, which was very nice, but not for me. So when he surprised me with gaming merchandise I was thrilled. Guys, spend those months properly getting to know her.
Not sure if this counts as flirting, but he read my favorite book just so we'd have something in common to talk about.
When I first started dating my long-term partner, I mentioned my favorite author maybe twice. One of the first gifts he ever gave me was a signed copy of my favorite book by the author. He reached out and told him I was a huge fan. I've never felt more listened to.
That's so sweet.
Just being genuinely nice. My boyfriend was too shy to flirt with me at first since we're only friends, so he texted me saying I looked really nice that day after seeing me, and it was such a simple thing but it really made my day better. And that can let the person know you are interested in them. It doesn't need to be a big scheme.
I had zero game, still do now, but both my long-term relationships, current fiancé included, happened via these lines. Be a nice person but not cringy. Show some respect, Maintain your interest but don't be a effing neckbeard.
Totally. My now wife says that she really was pleased and taken aback when I said, I had a really good time hanging out with you today.
We were 15. Opening credits of the movie started. He put his arm around me and said, if I'm going to start flirting, I'd better start early. Been together 23 years.
Haha, this girl I'd been texting with had made a joke about her not being able to read. A week or so later for our first date we went to see the new Star Wars movie, and as that opening scroll started I leaned in and whispered, "Man, it's too bad you can't read." And she goose laughed, like a real loud honking guffaw in the quiet theater. People stared. I still smile sometimes thinking about it. She was pretty great.
23 years? That's a long movie.
Last year of college for us. He'd show up after my classes and follow me around everywhere, talking incessantly. When he'd see me on campus he'd run over to say hi. I would flirt by sometimes picking a little wildflower to give to him when I saw him next that day. He'd wear it in his shirt or behind his ear. We now have 2 sons and he's taught the older one, younger is a baby, to give me little wildflowers when we're out walking together. Grin.
So you were stalked successfully.
Yes. People would refer to him as my little lost puppy. He followed me everywhere.
Asking me my favorite Lego Star Wars character. He kind of ruined it though by trying to kiss me 2 minutes later. Ah, kindergarten.
Asterisk insert obligatory, lost my job as a kindergartner, comment here, asterisk.
He bought me a giant bag of beef jerky. A few years later he was tossing pebbles at my dorm window with another bag of beef jerky and roses. He was a great boyfriend. Ended up being a pooty husband though. Will always be in love with the person he was before that, however.
Your pants are unzipped. Tried it as a young adult and worked about half the time.
No they aren't. Would you like them to be?
He came up to me and said, I was wondering if you could help me. I seem to have lost my Congressional Medal of Honor around here somewhere.
Well, did he ever find it?
We need a dedicated Thirsty Thursday thread for posts like this.
Mega Boner Monday. Titty Tuesday. Wanking Alone Wednesday. Thirsty Thursday. F Fantasy Friday. Sexy Saturday. Sit down and go to church Sunday because y'all need to calm down at least once in a while.
Good strategy, bro.
My buddy worked out a great strategy. He said he was gay, made tons of chick friends, really got them to trust him. And then, when they least suspected it, he stole their boyfriends.
Made eye contact, asked interesting questions, listened to my answers and responded. He didn't make the conversation about him.
Haven't had to flirt with a stranger for over a decade now. Is the bar really this low? Like, I see the 8 million clearly bad stories, but is this bit that rare these days?
Actually, being able to relax, be yourself, and truly listen in a conversation with a new person, not to mention one you are attracted to and want to make a good impression on, is a pretty rare skill. The art of good conversation is simple in concept but can be hard in execution. On top of it, a lot of men, and women may do this, too, psych themselves out so much about impressing a gal they end up dominating the conversation and come across as blowhards or like they are bragging. You feel like you're meeting an infomercial. This is why people say confidence is the key to being attractive.
My husband thinks he is flirting when he swings his peep around or pokes me with it.
His is real flirting, everything else is diet flirt.
My first thought when I read the question was my husband doing the helicopter.
Not a woman, but once my buddy practiced on me before he went to talk to a girl he liked. He said he liked my huge tits and ass and wondered if I'd like to sit on his penis. Didn't work on the girl, but I certainly felt something spark inside when he tried it on me.
Suddenly gay.
Task failed successfully.
He bought me wings when I was having a hard, bad day. We're still together to this day.
Stares at the pigeons outside. So today is the day, ya little rascals.
I had a boyfriend who was really into working out and martial arts. I asked him to show me a move and he swept my feet out from under me, then caught me and kissed me. Hottest thing ever.
Alright, I saw a cute girl at the bar so I suplexed her through a coffee table. What's my next move?
If she's not jumping into your pants after that, IDK what to tell you, it's a foolproof move.
#SWEEPTHELEG.
We'd met previously and he was trying to get out of the friend zone quickly. I told him I was too busy to date. He offered to hang out with me while I plowed through a ton of errands, including an oil change, getting gas, returning shoes, picking up cleaning, and blowing up balloons for a party. It was so nice to have support of me being me and me doing stuff, and it was nice low-key, no pressure hanging out to get to know each other. I was so busy that day I forgot to eat lunch and he got me a donut and coffee. I married him.
I bet you could have held out for 2 donuts.
Ha ha ha.
If a girl tells me that she is too busy to date, I would think it is just an excuse to not date me. That man had some balls to keep going. So happy for you. P.S. I might need some advice from your S.O.
Guy here. Only tried this once. I was at a formal function and this cute little brunette was sitting at my table. We made eye contact all evening and chatted as best we could with someone sitting in between us. As the evening was winding down, my roommate, who I rode with, was ready to leave and go to a local bar. I went up to the young lady and put my hand gently on her bare back and told her that we were leaving and I hoped to see her at the bar. I really, truly had never been that forward with anyone before. We have been married now for over 30 years and she still comments on that moment, so I guess it worked.
Touch bare back, got it.
Just be open and honest. Try to talk to me like I'm a human being instead of a conquest.
So, saying, "I shall conquer thee," is not acceptable. Edit. Whoever gave me the award. Thank thee. Edit number O dos. A silver award for my dumbassery. Thank thee, my lord, my lady.
Depends. If you're in full-plated armor, I'll allow it.
By doing nothing. My husband was quiet and it was mysterious, which required no flirting. I wanted to know more about him and had a fun challenge to get him to talk. The ones that always came off strong or super outgoing flirty made me red to the face, nervous, and freaked out. Now we've been together for 14 years in the most chill relationship ever. Edit. His friends, when I asked about him, said, "Who? Oh, that's Danny, he's the asshole."
Time to go in a bar at 8 p.m. drinking alone and looking like a deep and mysterious guy dressed all in black.
Genuinely liking me as a person. Spending a lot of energy getting to know me and figure me out. I know it's strange, but somehow that works for me, winking face.
He awarded my comment.
Lol, if it was this easy in the real world I wouldn't be singed. Not a girl, but I like staring at women until they notice and then quickly look away and leave without saying anything and repeatedly calling myself a creepy idiot who deserves to die alone.
Has that worked? It seems unlikely, but the world is weird.
It has. I am set to die alone exactly as planned. Cool.
I found that the best way to get attention from women is to have a girlfriend.
To get a girlfriend you need a girlfriend. Got it.
Facts. Every dude I get a crush on has a GF, even if I didn't know that beforehand. Maybe it's because they come off as more confident, less awkward because they're not interested in me.
He asked for nudes. I sent him hentai. Then he sent me memes. Then I sent him memes.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.